Hey guys, this is Justin with Bob's Watches, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of Tissot's racing-inspired chronographs, the PRS516. If you guys are enjoying this content, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe so you don't miss out on the next watch reviews. If you guys aren't familiar with Tissot, they've been in business for over 167 years, and since the early 1970s, they've been very closely associated with the motorsport industry. Tissot loves making that sporty, racing-inspired watch. You'll see a lot of chronographs, and this watch, the PRS516, is no different. This is exactly the type of watch that you would expect to see from Tissot. Tissot originally produced the PRS516 in 1965. The numbers 516 simply refer to the series it was produced in. It was the 5th finishing option for the caliber and the 16th model, and these numbers aren't really relevant today. The PR516 was inspired by the steering wheels of vintage racing cars, and this PRS516 is a modern take on those designs from the 1960s. First, let's talk about the size of this watch, and it's a big watch. First, when you see it, you notice it right off the bat. It's a solid tool watch. The case diameter of this one is 45 millimeters, solid stainless steel, and it has a solid stainless steel 3-link bracelet. And when you wear the watch, you can really feel the heft. I mean, it feels like a solid tool watch, which is great. Personally, I like that. It's a chronograph, it's meant to be sporty, it's meant to be tooly, and you can really tell the moment you pick this watch up. This watch features a standard tachymeter bezel, but it's constructed of ceramic. And it's not a shiny ceramic. When you first see it, you might mistake it for aluminum or another material. A lot of times you see ceramic bezels have that mirror sheen to them, like you find on a lot of dive watches. This one has a very fine brushing pattern, kind of a radial striations around the whole entire bezel that I think makes it a little more legible out in the daylight. This watch has a very modern dial design. The actual material that the dial is made out of has almost a carbon look. It has these horizontal striations on it that catch and reflect the light in different ways, and it just has a very sleek, very modern look to the dial. The watch has a very monochromatic design, being all black and white on the dial, aside from these yellow accents. And these yellow accents give it a really sporty look. Another feature that gives this watch a really modern look is the floating hour markers that they've incorporated. If you look at the watch at an angle, you'll see that the hour markers are actually attached or look like they're attached to the bottom side of the crystal, and there's nothing underneath them between the hour marker and the dial. This is a really cool look, and it's kind of subtle. You don't get it until you really examine the watch up close or look at it at an angle, but it does lend to that really modern look, and it's kind of an innovative design. It features a chronograph that functions much like any other chronograph you would find. The top pusher starts and stops the chronograph, while the bottom pusher resets it back to 0. The subdial at the 9 o'clock position is the watch's running second hand, while the subdial at the 3 o'clock position is the 30-minute tracker, and the yellow center-mounted second hand is the chronograph seconds tracker. This is an automatic watch with a manual wind function that you can wind by turning the crown. Now, it doesn't have a screw-down crown, so in the wearing position, just rotating the crown will wind the watch. Setting this watch might be a little bit different than you'd expect. It has a 2-position crown and does not feature a quick set. So the first position is the winding position and wearing position. Then when you pull the crown out to the next position, that will set the time, and it will set the date if you go around 24 hours. To set the date independently, you have to use the button that's featured at the 10 o'clock position on the side of the case. The bracelet on this watch is really nice. It's 22 millimeters wide, solid stainless steel, 3-link bracelet. And it has a dual deployant clasp on the back. And you can see that it has the Tissot logo with the 1853 right there on the clasp. Kind of a clean design. Opens from the side, 2 directions, goes right on your wrist. This is a larger sport watch, and it feels like it when you put it on your wrist. It's in a 45 millimeter case, and it definitely feels like it's a 45 millimeter case once you get it on. I have a 7-inch wrist, and I would say that that's the smallest wrist size that I would feel comfortable wearing this. It doesn't overhang my wrist, and it fits nice and snug, and it's heavy, but it's not too heavy. I don't feel like it would be an impedance during the day, but like I said, it's a big watch, and it wears like it. Well, that wraps it up for this PRS516 from Tissot, and we got this watch and actually quite a few other new Tissots in. I'll put the link down below if you guys want to go to the page and check them out. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe for more watch reviews, comparisons, and how-to guides.